it's now time to talk about the strengths of corpus-based research which is being conducted these days. Usually the analysis of a corpus these days is based on a large collection of samples of a text or of a variety of language, which may be called a register, or it may be named differently because the variation in languages maybe have been labeled differently based on multiple factors, purposes, nature of text, etc. Some people might call it a register, or some people would simply call it a variety or a text type or a genre. So there could be different names which can be used, and all these names are used to develop various kinds of corpus, and they are very crucial in developing a deep analysis of a corpus-based text. Usually we use the term register to refer to the varieties of a language that are distinguishable based on various situational characteristics. These situational characteristics include the purpose of the text maybe, and setting, mode, who is the author, speaker, nature of the text, spoken, written, reader, so on. Some text collections are based on readers' choices, so there could be a register based on reader choices also. For example, we can distinguish conversation as a genre as well as a register by its real spoken mode, shared time, and the place and space between the participants. Then corpus-based languages, language studies these days rely heavily on computer-based applications and tools, which becomes a kind of facility, because computer-based applications make corpus-based research more smooth, accurate, and speedy. It can conduct research on a large data in a quick time, which simple human efforts would probably not be able to do. And more importantly, the reliability of computer-based research or applications is more than human efforts with a large scale data. So that's why these days computer-based applications and their analysis of the corpus is preferred over other modes. The efficiency which is afforded by computers also means a larger or greater amount of data can be analyzed quickly, and which is not possible through human efforts, or if possible, it would take a large amount of time and space maybe also. A computer can not only store large amounts of data in small space, but it can also make its analysis more efficient, quick, and manageable to human beings in normal circumstances. And then there is also a trend these days in corpus-based studies to make quantitative analysis of the data, which is also very efficient and becomes fairly easy and reliable in many ways also, because it helps us to generalize the findings in various situations. Further, the quantitative data in corpus-based discourse analysis is important for two reasons. First, it allows us to make empirical establishment of linguistic patterns within and across the languages. Within a language or across the languages, we can find various patterns of a language which are similar in nature or variational in nature. So it helps us find out and distinguish various patterns of a language or patterns between the languages. Secondly, it also makes possible to make comparison between various varieties of language, and then it also helps us to generalize those comparisons to the larger samples of the language also. The core contribution of corpus-based linguistic approaches to discourse analysis is also about the ability to make reliable, generalizable discoveries about the patterns of linguistic variations across various varieties and registers. Further, we can say that based on all these reasons, the development of the design or the construction of a corpus is a very crucial factor, because if we cannot develop a proper design and criteria for the selection of a corpus, we probably would not be able to utilize all these dimensions, and we cannot make reliable comparisons or generalizations among the language varieties. More specifically, to sum it up, two characteristics of the corpus are of prime importance to corpus linguistics these days. Number one is the size of the corpus. How big or large a corpus is, the bigger it is, it would be considered more representative. And second, which is related to this point also, is the representativeness of the corpus. From how many sources and from which authentic criteria certain corpus has been selected is very important, because and both these factors, size and representativeness, would make the findings of a corpus-based research more reliable and efficient.